I would like to invite, as they are willing and able to come forward, Alina and Xander and their parents for the beginning of our coming of age ceremony. I always tell our parents that their children come of age, whether it's recognized or not, they always come of age in their own ways, and I can always count on Unitarian Universalist youth to indeed come of age in their own way. And for that, we celebrate. Within the covenant of this church, we celebrate life's rites of passage from birth to death, along with all the celebrations in between. Today, we celebrate the coming of age of Zach Barber, Alina DeMont Heinrich, and Alexander Robert Kelty, a recognition of their move from childhood to youth. Zach, who participated in the program, couldn't be here today. And Alina and Xander spent a portion of this past year, actually since January, examining their faith, their theology, and the principles and purposes of Unitarian Universalism. They have visited other religious institutions. They explored Unitarian Universalism through classes designed to help them explore their individual beliefs. We read The Hate You Give together and talked about that in a very deep class. And they worked with mentors from this congregation to develop their personal statements and presentations of belief. Their coming of age, their move into young adulthood, has been recognized by their mentors, parents, and peers. Xander, do you come before us today, or should I say Alexander? I didn't even know that was his name.
Just say Xander, it's easier.
Xander, do you come before us today ready to move into the next phase of your life? Have you taken to heart all that you have learned, and are you ready for the responsibilities of young adulthood?
I am, and I am.
Awesome. And so we're going to begin, and Xander, your family can go sit down for a moment. We're going to begin with the recognition of Alina.
Good morning. My name is Christine DeMont, and this is Christoph DeMont Heinrich. We are the parents of Alina, and she's practicing her independence by not willing to come here today. But she did help me put together this PowerPoint presentation that I'm happy to share, and just want to let you know a little bit about Alina and her spiritual path. I believe our spiritual path is a lifelong journey, so I'm going to share where she is up to this point. We started coming to Prairie about 8 years ago, and it's been a really wonderful experience for us and our girls. Alina participated in the OWL program, and then did the coming of age this spring, and has had a great experience with that. She wasn't excited to visit all the services, but her favorite one was the AME church. And she came back just glowing and said she couldn't believe how happy everyone was to be there. And the service was just so uplifting. And if she were to go back, she would want to go to that church. But despite going through the coming of age, she's not sure if she believes in God yet, and I said that was okay, and we're all on a journey ourselves, and I support her for at least going through that experience. So other experiences that has shaped her spiritual journey, the most important one I think right now is fostering dogs. We started taking in rescue dogs last summer, and yeah, feel free to scroll through the slides. And I think fostering dogs brings Alina to life, and I have nicknamed her the dog whisperer. So we've been taking in these dogs who've been abused, scared, and neglected, and she can just give all her empathy to them and turn them into these happy, loving, affectionate animals who've all been adopted here in Colorado to loving homes. I get to interview the families to make sure that they are a suitable match. And so I wanted to share that I think Alina can most closely relate to UU's 7th principle, which is, we believe in caring for our planet Earth, the home we share with all living things. And she definitely shows that through caring for these animals. And I'll let Christy do that.
Christoph de Heinrich, and as Christine noted, we came here first in 2011, and it's been a wonderful journey and gone by really quickly. I can't believe that Alina is 14 and coming of age, and I remember many other coming of age programs like we're having today, and I hope that Alina, I know that we have other programs for high school age students as well. I hope that she's standing up here on her own in front of everybody. But she does have lots of friends here in Prairie, and I'm grateful that she has this space. And I don't know that I can add that much in terms of Christine covered a lot of things. I think Alina is still on the stage where she's trying to figure things out. We all are, but she's at an especially intense point where she's trying to figure everything out. And my hope is that things come together for her, especially in the next year or so as she goes to high school and goes to a new school and makes some friends, etc. I do have one comment on the dogs. So the dogs did stay with Christine when they were being hosted, and Heidi, I don't know if you could go back to Heidi. Really cute dog, and she didn't like men. As it was funny, I would, when I go pick up the kids, I'd have to sort of work my way into it. But she was, once she warmed up to me after a while. So. But I'm just happy and proud. I'm happy that Alina has this church, and I'm proud that she's where she's at.
My coming of age presentation is involving 4 major events in my life that have helped shape it and make it is what it is today. The first one starts with a overseas trip that inspired me to actually like to travel, and it makes me not want to stay in the same routine too often. So the trip started with a visit to Belgium, I think around 2011. It exposed me to all sorts of differences in culture, and particularly with transportation and shopping, since I was not 10 at that time, so I was more, I guess you could say, inexperienced with the differences around the world. So in Belgium, they have subway systems and malls that were underground. I had never known of that before that time, so it was a really new experience. I felt really out of place there at first, since we didn't know how to speak French. We were lucky to meet a family who did speak English as well as French, so they taught us French. We took French lessons. And over the 6 months that we were there, we managed to fit in better. The second part that helped shape my life was my time at Prairie, with all the people who still go here and who are not going here anymore. like all the greetings I get every day, like help me make it through the week at school. And all of my friends who are and who are not around my age, they make me smile, and it means a lot to me. And then the events that happen at our church, I really like those, especially like the Easter egg hunts, the community garden, and things similar to that. Especially since they bring out the best in everyone, and that is what I enjoy. The third thing is like music in my life, which has made probably the most difference. Since I started piano lessons a long time ago with Jenny Rodman. She entered like lessons for piano at a Prairie auction, and my parents got that for me. And I enjoyed it so much that I kept on going, and I learned a lot there. And then when I moved on to another person who continues to teach me piano today, it like really made me connect with the piano. And then for viola, which is, I guess you could say, the main instrument that I play, violin, it was like too shrill for me to handle, and I liked the lower sounds. So I decided to do viola, and I didn't notice the cello and bass that there were lines for, so I didn't try those out. And when I did like the brass and woodwind instruments, I couldn't make any sound at all. So I decided to stay with the viola. And then the coming of age visits like showed me what other religions could be like and what they are like, especially with the AME Southern Baptist Church. I also really enjoyed it since the people there were really enthusiastic about our appearance, and they were really involved in music, and overall the atmosphere there was very uplifting and cheerful. For where I would classify myself as for religion and that stuff, I would say that I will still stay Unitarian Universalist. But if that weren't an option, I would go with the AME Baptist Church. But the thing that I would most connect with is the agnostic side, since there is no way to tell if there's a God or not until you go see if there is one for yourself.
Ta-da.